In other news, the Capital Markets Authority has announced the gazettement of investment-based crowdfunding, which will allow micro, small and medium enterprises to access affordable and alternative finance. CMA Chief Executive Officer Wycliffe Shamiah says the regulation will apply to eligible crowdfunding platforms where MSMEs will be able to raise money from members of the public in exchange for capital markets investment instruments. The CMA has now given all investment-based crowdfunding platforms a year to comply with this new regulation.
During his inauguration, President William Ruto reiterated his commitment to providing accessible and affordable financing platforms for MSMEs, particularly through venture capital and equity funds. The Capital Markets Authority has now announced the provision of inclusive crowdfunding policies, which will allow MSMEs to crowdsource finances and use crowdfunding platforms to interact with investors. In this investment-based crowdfunding model, issuers who raise money from the crowd will offer investors either shares or a debt instrument, and the investor will give money to the issuer with an expectation of a financial return on investments. The regulations are applicable primarily to crowdfunding platforms operating in Kenya. Crowdfunding platforms participating in crowdfunding will be required to have an issued and paid up capital of 5 million Kenyan shillings upfront and liquid capital of a minimum of 10 million shillings, or 8% of its liabilities. The platforms will also be required to supervise users, issuers, and investors through rules approved by the authority during licensing. CMA CEO Wycliffe Shamiah says this move will play a key role in spurring economic development for startups and small businesses. Hibak Said for Lunchtime News.